will get started. All right, we are getting started here. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Wes Van Epps with Wisconsin Voices for Recovery, and I'm also joined here by a couple of my coworkers, Megan and Jessica. So super excited. I see a couple people coming in. Super excited to have you guys here. There may be some more filtering in throughout this call. And for those that are new, this is just a time for us to connect with individuals that are in recovery. We've had organizations that have offered recovery supports on this before, and other people across the nation, just to stay connected and talk about recovery and the support services that are out there right now, things that they have been doing in the past, and just a great way to just get some information out there. So we've been doing this since the beginning of April, shortly after COVID started here in Wisconsin, and things started to shut down there, and what seemed like the world was coming down to just being really slow and shut down. So we're just super excited to of course see the things that have happened since then in the recovery field, and the supports that are out there now through this time, especially virtually. So it's just a great opportunity that we have here to put these on our Facebook as well, and so people can go back and watch the individuals and the organizations that we've had on here. So we have a special guest with us today who I've actually known for quite a while with my time working in this field, and who's contributed a lot to the recovery field and the efforts that her organization and the team that works with her have been able to do. So I'm just going to go through and do a quick introduction before bringing her on to talk a little bit. So our guest today is actually Tina Perry. So Tina founded Just Listen in 2011, helping achieve the 501c3 registration in 2015, and now devotes most of her time to the organization. She has owned Tina's Trees, an apparel company, since 2007. Prior to that, she was a flight attendant, cardiac nursing department assistant, and earned the title of Miss Wisconsin Woman 1997. I actually never knew that, Tina, so that's pretty awesome when I read that. So her volunteer work includes Girl Scout leader, homeless shelter volunteer, and board member / coach of the Milwaukee Miracle League, which is a sports organization for children with special needs. Tina serves as Just Listen's lead certified recovery coach and has been in long-term recovery for 30 years. So Tina is also an advisory council member of Wisconsin Voices for Recovery. In her free time, she enjoys the outdoors, traveling, and spending time with her family. So Tina, welcome with us today. I know that we had the honor to see you last week when we were in your community. So that was great to see you. I haven't seen you in person for a while. I see you on a lot of calls and Zoom stuff. So, but it was great to see you in person and just connect with you again. So welcome. If you can, I'm just going to bring you on camera here and talk a little bit, if you could, just on some of the factors first that contributed to your passion in working in the recovery field. So talking a little bit just about yourself, some things that led up to your work now.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me today. I'm excited. I'm going to do my best to get through this with no tears. That's very sensitive to me as well. So, I've helped my whole life. I've had a heart to help in the nursing homes. I would listen to the people's stories, paint their nails. All through the years, it was just if someone needed something, they knew I would definitely find a way to be there. So in 2011, I noticed that there were some issues with drugs and alcohol. And I was noticing it again and again with high school students. And I was shocked, actually, even though in high school I was using, and my teachers that didn't teach anything about health education was talking about drugs, probably because they were unsure if I was under the influence or not. So what happened was in 2011, my daughter was even having some problems. And I was just, how could I help? How could I help? Well, I figured it's sometimes best to be in a position to be able to help when you've been there. So because of that fact, I was thinking back to my teenage years and thinking what I went through, what I've done, and I came up with this bright idea. Maybe I could help people through my journey. And what I did was I went back to thinking about what happened to me. So what happened to me was I was using cocaine for quite a few years in my high school years. And at the end, it was pretty bad. I never got in trouble. I didn't steal. Everything was like a hush hush. Nobody really knew except the people that I used with. And I remember the last day of it, we were probably in a hotel for 4 or 5 days. That's where we hung out. And I did something I never did before. One of the girls asked me to go on a drive to pick something up. I figured I knew what the something was. I didn't ask. I just said, okay. So I went to this place and found myself held at gunpoint, and it went into a horrible rape. And I ended up getting out of that. And afterwards, it was just sickening. And then a few hours later, party more, whatever, a few hours later, just had enough. So what I did was I slit my wrist. I thought, I am just done with this. So then I was found in the bathroom by my sister, and she called my mom. And my mom says, what? Because she had no clue at all after all these years. She says, oh my God. My sister says, it's not alcohol. Tina's on drugs. And my mom was just flabbergasted because my father was an alcoholic. So my mom's used to dealing with alcohol issues all the time. All of us were. And then it was drugs. That was just like not even to be heard of. So they actually, because I slit my wrist, they put me in a straitjacket. And I actually remember the whole thing. I knew pretty much of all the paramedics and the police, but under the influence, I was calling the people the wrong names. I remember the ambulance ride to rehab. I didn't even know rehab existed, really. So I went to rehab, and they put me in this room. It was silver padded. It was big, thank God. And then I had to stay there again because I slit my wrist. So that was 24 hours. And then I walked out on the floor and looked around, and I said, oh my gosh, where did I put myself? It was like I wasn't supposed to be on that side of it. I was supposed to be on the other side of it because I'm the helper. I've been since I've been a little girl. I'm thinking, now what? The door's locked. There was payphones on the wall, so I figured I'd get to call somebody. My family was very, very supportive the whole time. But back to being on that floor, what I did was I just started walking around helping people again. If somebody was sitting by themselves, I would go talk to them because I don't like people to feel left out, lonely. If something's bothering them, I'm happy to listen. And that's just me, how I was made. So after that, I got placed into a regular room, and my roommate scared me. And I remember she used to dance in front of the window naked, and I just used to pretend I was sleeping. I was pretty scared, actually. And then thank God I moved to the floor for the addiction side. I remember they gave me Xanax, it must have been. Oh my God, I was not a pill taker. And it was the worst feeling. And I'm like, you're trying to help me by giving me something else? I don't understand this. And I was just sick. So I never took that again. And I was placed in a room. I remember my roommate was a female because it was a co-ed floor. And that's when I learned about cutting because she had cuts all over her arms. And she explained it to me what it was. So I learned a lot in rehab. The moment that probably saved my life in recovery for myself was when one of the counselors was writing on the board, and I'm surprised, but I wasn't very nice to her. And I said, because you went to school, you think you could teach me what to do, how to feel. You don't even know what it was like. Well, it was me that didn't know, because she looked back at me and said, no, I'm one of you. I was like, you are. I was like, wow. So I'm very thankful that happened in the beginning of my recovery, because I paid attention then, and I really paid attention. So then it was the typical 28-day program, meetings. They gave us lunch, dinner, breakfast. I know I said that backwards. And we had art class. We had a whole bunch of things. My family was always there supporting me, which was wonderful. And then moving out of that, we had we could go back to meetings, of course. And then they had the Sunday pancake breakfasts. The pancake breakfasts were $4, and they were awesome. And the reason why was because there was speakers. There was a few speakers every Sunday, and I loved just to go listen to their stories. And it helped me. So from there, I did one of the things that we're told to do: not associate or talk to anybody that you used to party with, anybody in that group. So I became a flight attendant, and I flew all over the world, and I just got out. So that's when we fast forward to now 2011. That's when I decided to take my experience of what happened to me, and excuse me, I wasn't quite sure how to start it. So I thought, oh, I know how to start it. Let's start it from what I went through. Everybody's journey is very different, but I had to start somewhere. So I started with building an organization, and it was for people to help themselves change their lives. And what I did was incorporate into it art. Art was the first thing that we did. So that's how it started. And the name of it, Just Listen, came from a song that my brother wrote, actually, because my brother's always telling me, Tina, just listen. So that's how Just Listen came about. So I'm proud of that, actually. And so we started with the art. And I know I sent Wesson some pictures to put up, but I don't know what order they're in. I'll tell you, Stacy had Uptown Art. She was the girl that gave me my first opportunity, and we set them up as classes. So, like, for instance, one of the classes was a car. Why would we paint a car? Because it was a new drive on life. So there was education behind every painting we did. Okay, so now we're seeing the photos, so I'll jump into that. This is a photo of me doing the tree lighting for our community, doing positive things in our community. They had asked me to do the tree lighting that year, so that was really cool. So I wanted to share it. I'm proud of it. So Just Listen does a lot of work with the youth. So what you see right here is super cool to me and all these kids involved. What you see right here is a lot of people and children with microphones. The reason they have microphones is because that was our kickball league. And what I had the kids do was, before we started all of our games, we lined up from first base to third base, and each individual got the microphone because I wanted to know something good that was happening in their life. Tell me something positive about yourself. What's going on this week? How are you feeling? Tell me something good. Because a lot of us talk negative daily, and I wanted the youth to start talking positive about themselves. And then after all the positive talk, we got to play kickball, and it was a lot of fun. as you see the kids having fun. That was cool. This is a busload from the Boys and Girls Club. So another event we did with the youth is they came to the village market, and what I did was I gave them each play money of $10, and they got to go throughout the whole market and learn how to budget their $10. And I told them, don't forget you need to eat lunch today. And it was amazing what the kids brought back with that $10 that they were provided. That's not all they did. I had the farmers teach them a lot at different stations about how did these vegetables get here? What did it take in order for you to bring them here? So they learned a lot about farming, which was awesome. And that's actually another painting class that we did at Farmers Market for the children. So we let the children paint as well. It's just a lot of education for the kids in one day, which was fun. So that's picture that you see now is a tree planting event. So every year I have the kids and adults, whoever wants to, it's free to the public. We plant, that year we planted trees. And then another year we planted wetland plants, and you'll see some pictures of that too as we go through. You also see a painting in there, which you'll see often, paintings in all of our events that we do, because I believe our lives branch off in all different ways. And then most of the time at an event, we'll have a painting because anybody could come up to that painting and do a circle. They're called rings of positive change. So the youth and the adults come up to whoever's standing at the painting and expresses a positive thing going on in their life. That is the youth again at a farmer's market, just a different photo of them. That is back to the painting. The reason we're painting a basketball is because we have an event every year until last year. Then we go to the Milwaukee Bucks game. And that one is a group of people that come to the class to paint their basketballs. We used to years ago actually go to the stadium and paint the basketballs, which was really cool, and then go to the game. Some things changed over the years. This year, COVID did it, but we still have our seats reserved for when we could go back, which is cool. So this is when the hospitals brought us into ED2 recovery, that we were a part of the program. Susie and I was able to go into the emergency room departments to help somebody if they needed help changing their lives from a substance that they may have used. And at this time, it was opiates is what the hospitals called us for if somebody wanted to change their life. And then we would attend to that call and walk a new journey with that person, a phenomenal program that we did really good with. And that's that. That's back to the tree planting. And I don't know how well you guys could see the pictures. I know what they are, but those are the groups. It's super cool. In the first top two photos, they were different years. If you see the one on the left, all the red, those are all football jerseys. And on the right, they're all football jerseys as well. I have a lot of football jerseys so that were donated to us. So I was thinking, what does a tree planting event have to do with football? Really nothing. So I was asking people, how could we bring this together? So we came up with it. After our tree planting and the big team of kids, we had to do it, and some adults, we came up with, we tackled this. So that's why we have the jerseys. And I'll tell you, the first year I started doing that, they couldn't wait to get their jerseys. It was super cool. So that's our new thing with football. All the football jerseys, I still have 557 pounds of them. So when we do our events, we tackled it. So it's super cool. That was an ice cream social that we did. And it was actually a project. We had real ice cream, But in the picture that you see is a project. It's a rolled up piece of paper looking like a cone, a bunch of cotton balls, and then colored balls putting it together. And if you're thinking, why do I do all these things and what does it have to do with recovery? It's because what I'm doing is giving people things to do. Um, Having people come out, and a lot of people will say, well, I can't do that. And yes, you probably can, and I'll help you if you want to learn. So with the kids, they really get excited and they don't know if they could do it or not, but we make sure everybody is able to do what we provide before they leave. And it's just something to do, positive talk, because again, like at that event, the kids heard the parents talking positive and the kids were talking positive. So we don't always ask the kids to make a positive change because of their age. They don't always understand what that is. So what I do is tell them, can you tell me something good that's happening in your life right now? So I still get them talking positive, and that's the goal of it, to feel good. This was Fancy Feet 5K. It's just pictures of a 5K that we did with people running and cheering and just moments from the race. It was super cool too. They enjoyed it. We had a big church group come too. This is the wetland planting, which I just talked about a little bit ago. I know we've seen some of the planting the tree planting that year. Now this is the wetland, and the kids were able to be on land, choosing what they wanted to plant, go into the water, down in that mud, make sure it's secure and planted. And it was a lot of fun. They really enjoyed it. Everyone was safe. The leaders were awesome, and we're tackling it, as you see, with those football jerseys on. Next.
Can you see my screen?
Now I could.
Okay.
Okay. This is awesome. This is Just Listen Teen Link. So I would drive to Kiel twice a month, and we put a group together for our teen program, which was absolutely amazing. The top picture of the girls and myself, that was our co-chair and our chair. And the bottom picture is actually me speaking in front of the whole school that day, which was an amazing opportunity. And our Teen Link program is just a program that any youth can come to. I've been going to the schools for a lot of years now. I'll go a lot during health and wellness week, and I bring the painting of a tree, and the kids come up and make positive changes. And it's really amazing because these kids do not know me, never seen me before, and I have a few minutes with them, start talking to them, and they're telling me what they want to change in their life. They're comfortable with me. So it's really awesome. One of the last ones I remembered was a boy told me the positive change he wanted to make was to stop bullying kids. He was actually the bully. And one year when I left, I actually held it together in the school. But when I got in the parking lot, I just busted out crying and had to wait before I drove, because it's amazing what the kids in high school are going through, and they don't really talk about it, I guess. So I'm just happy I'm able to go into the schools and let them know we're there if they need to talk. No judgment, nothing. Just we're happy to help you through whatever you need. And the kids are really responsive to that. So it's great. This is also Teen Link. This is me with the kids. After the whole school year goes through and we do a lesson plan for the whole entire school year, at the end, we sit and talk to the kids and ask them what do they want to do for the summer. So the summer is field trips. And these are some of our field trips. And as you see, it's a water park field trip and that nice big game that they played. And on the bottom right, we're actually in Chicago at Navy Pier, and we seen the bean, and the kids were just amazed. They absolutely loved the field trips, and it was something that they were earning. You know, they showed up and spoke and helped others and went through the whole process of our program for Teen Link. And then we had our field trips, which was awesome. This was the largest group that I've ever trained for Narcan training. This is the Boy Scout leaders that had asked me to come in for that. Susie came with, and we trained together. And I know there's a lot of people, and it actually worked out really good. And we had different stations, and it was excellent. So that was the largest Narcan training we've had. This is another part of the program for Just Listen. This was an event where I had different chefs from restaurants come through, or people that cook. And when the kids came through, they learned how to cook something. So what you see here is a lot of food from probably stuff that I would guess we're not really used to seeing, because this is when we were doing food from other countries. So it was really cool. The kids learned a lot, and that was our Just Listen cooking program. And you see with our little chef hat up there. So very delicious that day. This is Back to the Arts. This is glass that ended up being night lights. So as you see in the left picture on the top, it was, you get to pick what colors, what pieces of glass, what shapes, and you design it on the flat piece that you're given. It's melted then in the pot, and it shines through from the art that you have created on your own. That was a super cool class that we'd like to do again as well. Creation. That was a get together for the youth. On the bottom right, you see all of us with the police officers that I asked to come by just to check on us, because that was actually my first youth event gathering, and it was really cool with the bright lights and everything. So the police came, and the kids were wondering why they were there. I'm like, no one's in trouble. They're here to protect us. So let's take a great picture with them. And we did. So that was super cool. So we had a DJ and kids just dancing around. That is another youth one. As you see, another glow in the dark. The one on the right is going down the slide. So this one is, all the kids were jumping on the inflatables, which was super cool. And then once again, you see I jump in right with them. I'm in those pictures with the kids, which is awesome. And at the end of that event, the kids painted, and those are the ages where they just told me, you know, something good in in their lives. This picture here is again our Teen Link girls. This was actually an event in Chicago, and the girls come up there because they were speakers. So they were really excited. These girls, Teen Link this group was 3 years ago. We're going in our fourth year. They're actually in college now. The one on the right graduated with the highest GPA of the school. And the one on the left, because I'm in the middle, graduated with outstanding grades as well. And they still contact me, and we still get together now that they're in college. So they keep going. This is a group of basically me and Jessica supporting, well, there's Jessica supporting our events, and then the Heroin Task Force, we were in the parade. The one on the upper left was a food event at Pick and Save for sales. The parade again, all different events that we just support and go to, end up meeting each other there because we both support a lot of stuff that goes on throughout the state. This was one of Just Listen events that was a mask event. I do a lot of things with masks because a lot of people hide behind themselves and don't truly let people know who they really are. And there's many different reasons for it. So we did a mask event and then people reveal themselves. This is a parade that we actually built that tree. There we go again, rings of positive change. So we built that tree from nothing. It was super cool. We built it together as a team and we won first place. So that was really cool bringing that around through Thiensville. We brought it through Kiel and I donated that tree after our last parade for the year to Pathways to a Better Life in Kiel. That was again just a lot of fun pictures of the kids at the farmers market. Yeah, the smiles. And this was a Latino expo that we bring big wheels in and just had a booth there, go around and have booths to let people know who we are. It still seems people don't know who we are. But we go to all the different communities and let people know. And there is myself with the Ozaki County Sheriff. And I just thought I would throw that in there because he has always been very good to us and proud. That's again the Bucks game that we go to. These are the big wheel races we are known for, going through summers with the races. The kids ride those so hard, I finally just had to throw them all in a dumpster. They were not safe. And then I thank you for listening to me talk. See, you guys are listening, and I say just listen, and you're listening. That's cool.
No, that's a lot of great events over the past years that you've been able to help contribute to, and I know that there's probably so many people that are thankful for the efforts that you've been given to that community. So I appreciate you taking some time and sharing some of these pictures with us and talking a little bit about them. I am gonna bring up and move into kind of our next topic, which is still around events. And show a video that Tina sent over to us that will be kind of our closing here for today. As Tina then, after the video, it's just a short clip. Tina will talk just a little bit about the events that she helped with during Recovery Month, which was last month in September. So I'm going to pull up this video quick. So just give me a second here. Give me 1 second. Okay, can you guys see it? Maybe not. Hold on.
Nope, we can.
Oh, okay. Now that I just exited out of it, hold on. Oh, shoot. Technical difficulties today, sorry.
That's okay.
Now we got it. Okay, here we go.
Get through it.
So I think that was a really cool clip, Tina, that you sent over. And I know that only captures just a little bit about the events that you hosted last month. So just if you want to give us just a brief just explanation of the things that you did and the things that you hosted last month.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Wisconsin Voices for Recovery, for hosting 2 of them. That was really awesome. We did a whole month of free events for the community. because it was recovery month. I actually do free events the last almost 10 years, but it was really important and needed. We had attendance, and there was all different reasons why we had each one of those classes. We did canvas painting, which was just abstract. So you can't come up and tell me you can't paint, because I'm going to splash paint with you and it's going to be beautiful. Again, getting people to come out of their comfort zone if they choose to and make it happen. So we painted masks. The hard plastered masks were ones you paint on the outside of how you believe the people view you in the community. And then on the inside, you paint how you view yourself. Usually the insides of those are a little darker, which means there's something to talk about. We did the tie-dye masks, and that was a super cool event. Everyone loved it. Everyone loved all of them. And with that, every streak of tie-dye was to resemble a journey that you've been through in your life to bring you to the person that you are today. And so that was super cool. You've seen a lot of wood and rocks, and those were revived by fire. So every event, we stood around the fire and we wrote on pieces of wood of something negative that we wanted to get rid of out of our life. And on the stone, we wrote something that we want to hold close and have in our life. So a lot of people wanted to get rid of addiction, fear, negative people, things like that. So we took one turn at a time, and we tossed the individual tossed the wood in the fire, and it burned away. And then I'm happy that they wrote on the rocks, because they got to take that good with them. So it was super awesome. And I know we're past time. I just want to say this has been awesome going through all those photos, and I probably just blew your next question, but I can't believe I had so many laughs. I didn't even have tears. Looking through all those pictures, I had comfort and love, and looking and seeing the people that I know who's there for what reason. So many people we helped all these years. I am just like, wow. So again, I want to thank you for letting me do this, because it brought back so many things that I told Wes, we really need like a 3-day retreat to go through every great thing that we have done, because we've done so many great things. So
No, and I know that we appreciate, like I said, your efforts, Tina, and thank you for joining us here today. That's fine if we are over. It was great hearing from you and the things that you're doing. The one, I guess, the final thing that I just want to ask quick, and this can be as lengthy as you want, as short as you want, but what are some words of encouragement to those that watch this video about how important it is to stay connected right now?
well, as we know, or what I believe, recovery is kind of getting forgotten about because of COVID. And I think that's dangerous. I think that it's very important to stay connected right now. And if you're someone out there that is just living with something all by yourself, you don't have to really. I mean, my experience I went through, I would be so embarrassed. And now sometimes I still am embarrassed, but you know what? I continued reaching out, and that's why I am like I am today. And it's okay to reach out. So, reaching out to get connected and then staying connected. And you're absolutely welcome to anything we do. And if we don't have an event, it doesn't matter. I'm still here for somebody. And if I can't help you, I'll find somebody that can. So, the connection part is really important and helpful for your mental health. You have to know that there's a place that you could call and you're not going to be judged. And everything has gone up right now. Suicide has gone up, overdosing has gone up. People even picking up for the first time has gone up, because people are bored right now. And boredom is a number one reason of relapse or trying new things. So we have to stay away from being bored. And that's another reason why I do so many different events for people to kind of find what do I even like to do in my life? Because I have no idea. And so some events are different than others. I mean, I walk through the parks with people. I want to go zip lining. I mean, I don't care if we go jump out of an airplane. I'll do anything. I ask people, go back to your childhood and tell me things that you thought, like, when I grow up, I want to do this. I would probably bet you probably haven't done it yet because you kind of had this thing in your life called using, and it stopped you from things you wanted to do. So let's go over that list, and I'll be happy to help you through those things or even do them with you. So it's super cool. And so connection is very important. Reaching out is very important, and no judgment. We are who we are, and don't lose hope, because great things could happen. And even during this time, great things can continue to happen.
Great. Thank you, Tina, for those words. And like I said already, thank you for joining us today. Thank you. I know I mentioned earlier last week we did see you in person. It's because you helped us with some naloxone box installs, which one of them is now installed at your office there. So thank you for those efforts as well, and for allowing us to do that and hanging out with us for a few hours while we did that. So yes, again, thank you. And for those that are watching this and viewing this later, please take care of yourselves. And if you are in the Ozaukee County area and are looking for recovery services or how you can get connected to Tina and Just Listen, where can they find some information, Tina, about you?
They can go on our site, just-listen.org, and I'm sure you'll put the information when you post this so they could read that. And I just want to say we are in Ozaukee County, and things do happen here too. And it's one of the harder counties. I believe it's one of the counties that people want to not have anything go wrong. Nothing happens here. And I hope one day I could help a lot more by being accepted for what I do, because it does happen here. And I'm willing to bring on the biggest team that I could get with whoever wants to be part of this, because it happens everywhere. And I'm the voice here, and I'm trying my hardest to stay connected and help people. So thank you.
Great. And there are just a couple comments that I just want to read through here. So Kimberly did say that we've heard so many great things about Tina and her work. Keep it going. So keep it going, Tina.
Thank you.
And then Jenny said, I never knew all this about you. I've always known you're amazing. This just proves it more. Love you, Tina. So some great comments for you, Tina. And like I said, I know that we see your work and all the dedication you put in. So keep it going. And for those that, like I said, that are watching, stay connected, be safe, and we will be having another Q&A. I believe this Friday we're going to be having a guest. So tune in this Friday, and then we're going to be continuing every Wednesday. So thank you everyone for joining. Thank you again, Tina, and you take care. And I'm sure I'll be talking to you soon.
Thank you so much. I loved being here. I hope I helped. Bye.